Hello, Susan.
Hi, Korenna.
It's so good to see you again.
You too.
I was telling Dan that it's a nice treat for me and for our community to do some of these, you know,
Debriefs.
post, yeah, the post workshop debriefs as a couple and some individually. So we get to see you guys, as individuals
Hmm.
and as a couple. So I'm excited that we're doing these solo for Warrior.
Yeah, me too.
And I do jokingly tease that Sovereign and Deep Sea Diver are my two favorite of the seven stages. But I have to say, Warrior's a big one too. Like a lot happens in Warrior. Like Warrior
Hmm.
can really stir things up for people.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm excited to hear about your experiences with the material, like pre workshop and during the workshop,
Yeah.
and then how it may or may not have been impacting you post workshop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for people who this might be the first video they're stumbling upon with us. Um, do you want to give your best shot at like talking through the Sovereign Explorer Warrior stages, or would you like me to do it?
You mean explaining what they are?
Yeah,
Like
just
what
a little
happens?
two
Yeah.
sentences of the.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure. I'll go for it.
yeah, I'd love that. Yeah, I think people
So
love to hear it from the
yeah.
user's perspective. Yeah.
So Sovereign is about bringing yourself to the conversation, checking in with yourself, sharing impact about how the other person, the Circle E, is affecting you, um, sharing relevant, maybe experiences from one's own life that may enhance the Circle E's exploration of their own inner world.
Yeah.
Um, and while I'm talking about Survivor, I'll just say that,
You called it Survivor.
oh,
That's an interesting Freudian.
it is. I
We
love the
should
show
do it.
Survivor, which is why I'm
Okay. I was like, we need to do an entire video about how sovereignty feels like a survival tactic to you or a life-saving tactic. Like there's something about sovereignty that is essential to our survival.
S that got me confused because we were watching Survivor last night.
Okay.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh, I'm embarrassed. I think my face is
I
red. I
love
can
it.
feel it.
I love it. Yes.
Um, so another thing about Sovereign is that I think that this is the area where I need to slow down more
Mm.
and check in with myself because I'm good at asking questions of the other person, but I'm finding that unless I pause them and really slow everything down, I'm not checking in with myself frequently enough. And I'm not sharing my emotion enough. I think I'm good at saying what I imagine the other person's feelings, experience to be, but I'm not so much checking in with myself and being like, oh, I'm feeling it here, or I'm noticing this in myself.
Uh,
Yeah.
I am so glad you are saying this, Susan, because I imagine there are hundreds of people in our community who experience the same disconnect and can't
Mhm.
quite put their finger on it.
Mhm.
So, what I'm hearing you say right now is like, oh, I'm really good at focusing on the other person, asking questions about their experience, even, sharing like how I think it might have been for them.
Yeah.
But when it comes to sharing my personal impact, oh, hearing that, I feel a little protective of you.
Right.
Or like, oh yeah, I know you're saying it's fine, but if that happened to me, I think I would be mad. Like
Yeah.
allowing yourself to bring yourself
Hmm.
into the exchange, like I think a lot of people struggle with that. And then they wonder like, oh, like how did this fall flat? Or like how did like I feel really connected to this person, but they don't feel as connected to me. And
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
forget to allow ourselves to be permeated and impacted. And like you said, sometimes we're so used to focusing on the other person that we actually have to slow down and take
Yeah.
some space and like intentionally go, oh, like I notice I'm feeling a lot as you're sharing this story. Give me a minute
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
metabolize
And
my
that's what
own
I
joy.
need to do is like, first of all, I need to be more comfortable interrupting them to pause them
Yeah.
because sometimes what'll happen and what happened in one of my pods this past week was the person was talking and emotion was coming across their face, but they kept talking and I was like, oh, like I saw the moment, but I didn't want to interrupt
Yeah.
because it seemed like they were working through something on their own, but I think that but then the emotion was gone.
Right.
So I feel like I need to get more comfortable with doing what they said in Warrior Weekend, which was pause
Yeah.
right there. What's that? and
Exactly.
and checking in not only with them, but like pausing them and being like, oh, what's happening for me right now?
Okay, I'm going to pause you. Because there are two things that you said in there that I think are really important and worth reiterating for people. One is that you said like they were really emotional as they were sharing their story. And so you wanted to let them finish, but by the time they were finished, they were no longer in connection with the feelings.
Hmm.
And it was too late to go back and go,
Hmm.
oh, what's happening right there?
Yeah.
And I think that's so important for people to know. Like you want, so you're like, oh, I'm going to politely wait until they're done. And then I'm going to
Yeah.
ask about this thing where their voice got choked up and their eyes got teary halfway
Hmm.
through this story. And then you
Yeah.
ask them and they're like, oh yeah, I don't know, really remember what that was about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one, there's the essential piece of like pausing.
Hmm.
Um, and then this is just a little fun one that I find. I love to replace the word interrupt with pause or interject.
Hmm.
And to really view it as you're because interruption, we're trained to believe that interrupting someone is rude,
Right. Rude.
and it's disruptive. Where
Hmm.
if you pause them, you know, that's not like you're just pausing them. Like, and
Hmm.
that's in service to them,
Right.
and in service to the relationship.
Yeah.
Or if you interject, you're like now you're joining them. And so like even if we can let go of the word interrupting, you're like, oh, I got to get used to interrupting. Or like, let's not even conceptualize it as an interruption.
Right.
Got to get used to pausing them,
Yeah.
so that we can stay with something or we can go
Hmm.
deeper with something.
Yeah.
And, I've been at this, well, I've been a therapist for almost 30 years now, but I've been circling for almost 20. And what I found, that's really funny. I just realized that it made me feel really old. I was like, yeah, I discovered circling in 2007. So late 2007, and I was certified in 2008. So it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And what I can genuinely say from my almost 20 years in circling is that people actually really appreciate it when we pause them. There will be some people that get annoyed where you're like, oh, can you hold right there? If you do it too often and they want to get their story out, there are some
Hmm.
people that will get upset with that
Hmm.
or annoyed by that. But when it has happened, even when I use that as the new what is and I explore, I'm like, okay, so there's something about me slowing you down to like explore some of those emotions I'm hearing in your voice or seeing in your face that is landing for you as what? As
Hmm.
annoying, as disruptive, and usually what I will find is they're saying like, well, I want to get my story out. And then you're like, oh, what's important about getting your story out?
Right.
Then we'll learn so much. Like
Hmm.
I've learned that sometimes that they weren't believed before, so it's really important for them to get their story out and to get to the end and like see whether you believe me or not.
Hmm.
I've heard people who grew up in homes where they never had enough airtime. And so
Yeah.
it's really important for them to get their story out because they're afraid that you're going to turn your attention to something else. And so it's really interesting. And I think that's one of the things I really love about circling, as opposed to other communication styles or even other like coaching practices. Like, because we're brave enough, this will lead us into the warrior, to risk the rapport, the rapport rift of pausing someone, you do get to find things that are in the periphery or in the people's blind
Yeah.
spots,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's
Yeah.
really an essential power in the pause. Okay, so we've got
Right.
sovereign is, the connecting to yourself, sharing impact. Um, the deeper I'm connected to you, the more I can, to me, the more I can be connected to you. And then kind of like implied explorer, which is one of your strong suits of like
Yeah.
getting the other person's world.
Right.
If you had to give like a tagline or a subtitle for warrior, what would you give it?
Um, I guess maybe helping the other person, the circlee, to understand themselves at a deeper level.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
We call it seeing what hasn't been seen.
Right. Yeah.
Understanding yourself at a deeper level. What's in the periphery of my awareness? What's in my blind spots? How can I
Mhm.
see this feeling, experience, in a different way? Yeah.
Mhm.
So warrior is seeing what hasn't been seen. And as you
Right.
so beautifully pointed out, like, and it's pausing them, slowing down in order to do that. And
Hmm.
more often than not, it leads to another layer of insight, a deeper
Yeah.
layer of understanding.
Yeah.
I
It
love it.
definitely does.
Cool. So tell me, what has your journey through the warrior stage been like these last several weeks?
Yeah. I'm excited to talk about this. It started with all the preparatory videos.
Mhm.
And I think that was actually where I got the most out of Warrior personally, and also um, where I got to see the power of Warrior the most because I was experiencing things in my own life that I was like, wow, if this can happen in circling, that's really huge for people. So Dan and I we rewatched the whole Good Will Hunting movie because it'd been years since we'd seen it. And wow, what a great movie.
Yeah.
Um, but we had seen Ray more recently than Good Will Hunting, so we didn't rewatch that
So
one.
tell the community what's happening right now. So, in our Art of Circling program, we offer people preparatory videos. Like we give video learning before they meet with us live for the workshops, and it's usually it's anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes, and there's anywhere from 2 to 3 videos. There's an embodiment practice, there's some lectures, and then there's some other teaching videos. And one of the videos for Warrior guy talks about the essence of warrior, and then he uses some movie clips because metaphor is one of the best way to
Yeah.
learn things. And he
Hmm.
uses a movie clip from the movie Ray about Ray Charles and a movie clip from Goodwill Hunting to
Hmm.
demonstrate yin and yang warrior techniques. So that's what Susan, if you were like, wait a minute, like, was this a jump cut? Why are we talking about movies right now? That's where it came from. So Susan, I love the dedication that you and Dan have where you're like, okay, we watched Guy point to these clips. So we went back and
Hmm.
watched the whole movie again.
Hmm.
And what did you
Yeah.
discover?
Yeah. So we had printed our
Yeah.
map and we were analyzing Will Hunting from that standpoint in the movie
I love it.
and what his core wounds were and how his strategic selves showed up and what his values were and his beliefs and his shame and all of that. And yeah, I just love this
Uh,
graphic so much. So as we were talking about the characters' core wounds, I've done a fair amount of exploring my own core wounds, and one came up that I didn't expect.
mm,
And so under the unworthy category in core wounds, the I'm inadequate came up for me,
mhm,
and also the powerless one.
mm,
And I never considered powerlessness to be one of my core wounds.
mm,
But I think those two, the inadequate and the powerless, like I can't get what I want, are
Yeah.
kind of enmeshed with each other for me. And um and it made me start exploring, well, what are my strategic self
Yeah. What are the
strategies?
strategies I
Yeah.
use
Hmm.
to either compensate for or mask these
Right.
feelings of inadequacy and powerlessness?
Hmm. Right. So then I went over to the strategic self side of the graphic and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, yeah, I definitely avoid. Um, and in one of our previous conversations, we were talking about how when I interact with friends, I usually let them do the talking,
Yeah.
right? And I like don't interject
Yeah.
because, yeah, I just
You
let
kind
them
of
talk.
shrink. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of shrink and like my small self shows up and I just listen. And people like me because I'm a good listener, but then I don't get to share myself.
Right. Yeah.
And so that was in the like the shutting down and avoiding
Yeah.
strategic self. And then people pleasing is a big one for me. And I knew that I had people pleasing tendencies, but what happened after watching the movie and analyzing Will
Hmm.
and identifying these core wounds and then the strategic self strategies, I was like, oh, I have another part that's even younger than all the other parts of me that I've identified. And I'm talking like internal family systems parts.
Hmm.
And that part is um, all about approval equals love. Because in my family with 6 kids, that was the easiest way for me to get love was by doing to
Yeah.
get approval.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Doing
So,
what was expected of me. If I
yeah,
meet people's expectations, meet
yeah,
and maybe even exceed
exceed.
expectations,
Yeah, yeah,
then I can be loved.
right.
Ooh,
So
that
I
goosebumps.
had like flashbacks of like super cleaning my bedroom as a kid, organizing everything, dusting, vacuuming, changing the sheets, making the bed, like just
Yeah.
making my room
Yeah.
amazing. And then going downstairs and like dragging my mother up to the second floor. Mommy, mommy, come see my room. I cleaned it. I cleaned it. And she didn't have to ask me to clean it. I just did it, right? And I would fling open my bedroom door and be like, look at my
Ta-da.
room. And she would be like, oh, you did such a nice job. And she'd give me like a side squeeze and like, like, oh, and you organized your stuffed animals. And I would get so much approval.
Hmm.
And so
And
I,
translate that into self-worth.
yeah, right. So unless I'm doing, I'm inadequate.
Yeah. I don't have any
And
value.
right, I don't, and that's where the powerlessness comes in.
Yeah.
That unless I'm doing, I
Yeah.
can't get attention.
I don't deserve it.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was really big for me.
We just pause there a little bit because that's
Yeah.
so big. I don't want you to rush by that too, of like, wow,
Yeah.
beautiful that, by going through the training materials and then watching it happen with someone else externally,
Hmm.
like the goodwill and Goodwill Hunting, gave you kind of permission to take a look at your own experiences more of growing up. And you were able to recognize that, like, oh, somehow, in my, you know, childlike brain,
Hmm.
this idea of fulfilling people's, over exceeding people's expectations and doing things that got me praise, that got cross-wired and collapsed onto this is my value.
Right.
This is how I show that I'm worth loving.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, and I started to realize just how much that approval seeking is present in my most intimate relationships with friends and family. I knew that I liked to clean, but I never realized that it was because I'm always seeking approval from others and want them to be like, "Oh, your home is so clean." Or like even if they don't comment, there's this like need in me to have a clean, spotless, organized living space because that's how I got so much approval equals
Yeah.
love as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I love
Hmm.
this, Susan. Not only do I love that you're willing to share this with our community and like, and it might touch someone or open something for them the same way that
Hmm.
watching Good Will Hunting did for you. But I feel like moved, um, and just like excited for you that you're like discovering where these things were like subconscious patterns for you.
Yeah,
And now you can choose whether you want to continue them from a conscious place,
right.
which will feel more like clean and relaxed and empowered, you
Yeah.
know, or whether you want to shift them,
Hmm.
like, so it just, I don't know, it feels like you're taking your power back.
Yeah,
Like that's really exciting for me.
yeah. Hmm.
It's funny, and I'll share a little secret of myself. Like I also really enjoy cleaning. Like I will clean and organize things when I feel like distressed or overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
for me, again, it's a control thing almost. Like if I'm
Hmm.
feeling out of control and I can reorganize the Tupperware cabinet and then it looks all neat and clean. I'm like, oh, see, I did that. And then I have this feeling of accomplishment, and so
Hmm.
like it's
Yeah,
interesting to notice like our coping strategies,
yeah.
and then to just go like, okay, and which one of these do I feel aligned with? And I
Hmm.
like the relationship between like the strategy and the feelings I get from it. And
Hmm.
which one of these are kind of like habitual
Yeah,
and not in service of my
right.
highest power and greatest good.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
sometimes we don't even change the strategy, we change the way we're holding it.
Hmm.
And it makes a huge difference. Like
Right.
if you're doing it automatically because you think you're not worthy unless you do it,
Yeah,
and you realize like, oh, that doesn't feel good, and you shift
right.
it, and you're like, oh, now I still do it, but I do it for the sense of accomplishment it gives me, and not for the seeking of approval of others.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to name that of like, yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
I don't want to like, shame or criticize strategies. It's the come from that
Right.
we're wanting people to take a look at. Like, are you doing it from a place of fear or anxiety,
Hmm.
or are you doing it as a place to like take back control or feel
Hmm.
angelic?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I told myself that I was cleaning because I wanted people to feel welcome and I wanted people to feel comfortable. But really, I wanted accolades.
Yeah.
I wanted
Wow.
people to be like, oh, I like coming to her house because it's clean, or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. God,
Yeah.
it almost, and it's funny, like the smile, like how it's landing for me to watch you do that is like that there's a delight and an empowerment in recognizing, like, oh yeah, that was the real reason I was doing that. And now I have more power over it.
Right. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
That's amazing, Susan. I
Yeah.
love it.
And I've been working on like releasing the grip of needing to have the place clean, like when nobody's coming. But the challenge will be for me when people are coming, how much I can relax. Like,
Yeah.
can I just leave like that little bit of dust? Or
Yeah.
can I just leave that one water spot on the faucet?
Yeah. Oh, I love this for you. And then just again with the pause, like to pause and ask yourself, like, oh, wait, like, do I really want to be doing this? Or am I doing it from some sort of
Right.
childlike, wounded, grasping place?
Hmm.
And just pause and be like,
Hmm.
nah, nah, it's okay. I don't need to be able to see myself in the guest bathroom faucet.
Hmm.
It's gonna be fine,
Yeah.
you know?
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. And you're right. It is that awareness that's so important because if I can notice that I'm not in the seat of self and
mhm,
I'm feeling like graspy about cleaning, then I can take a step back, talk to those wounded parts, reassure them, see if there's something else we can do, see if they can trust me a little bit, and get back in the seat of self before moving forward.
mhm.
And yeah, so that's been really important the
Yeah,
last month and
it
a
is.
half.
Yeah, like I'm noticing my own body relax as I hear you talking about like really like self-care and like noticing like, oh, when am I doing things from this graspy, I will not be loved, accepted, belong, unless I do this place versus when am I doing this from a place of like, I want to do this because I like it and because it's, it's a positive reflection of who I am and my own
Hmm.
self-expression. Like
Hmm.
it just, again, I know I want to sound cliche, but like the the overarching theme that I'm noticing is like taking back your own power,
Hmm.
like this self-empowerment and like
Hmm.
and I really just want to name how I'm appreciating the way you're doing this with like not a hint of self-judgment. You're not like, oh fuck, I used to do this and how bad was I that I used you're just like, oh yeah, I'm noticing that I used to do this and now I'm choosing to and like I love the way because personal growth doesn't have to be painful, and it
Hmm.
doesn't have to be critical or shaming. And so I just really wanted to
Hmm.
name how much I'm appreciating these realizations and shifts that you are making from
Hmm.
such a like self-compassionate and like enthusiastic place as opposed to, from some sort of critical place.
Yeah. Well, don't get me wrong. I have those moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm still acting this way. But
Mm.
I am realizing more and more that I need to love these aspects of myself and have them come to trust my authenticity if I'm going to be better about projecting these core wounds out into the world.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
damn, Susan. That's just rich and beautiful. Thank you. I'm just so, I feel like honored and excited by how deeply you are embracing this stage and like the essence and concepts of this stage of the warrior. Like in the warrior, we warrior for our highest selves or the other person's highest selves. We're not warring against anything. We do take a look at, our core wounds and the strategies that we, you know, enact in the world in order to protect or, conceal
Shield. Yeah. Hmm.
those core wounds and what is the essence beneath those that we are protecting, like what's the
Hmm.
precious needs and values and beliefs that are beneath those the shame and the core wounds that we are dancing around to protect. And I love how you are really embracing this course in that three-layered way that we, kind of designed it of like, sure, above all, you're learning these skills in order to enact with others. So there's a ways that you're like learning how to help others have these discoveries, but it's also a personal growth course where you're learning to apply these same
Yeah.
tools and strategies to yourself.
Right.
And then as you named in the practice pods and you have your own cohort mate that lives in your house with you. And then there's that mastermind group aspect of it of like, and then
Mhm.
you have a committed community in a closed container to practice and explore and discuss these things with.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. So it's just heartwarming for me to see how fully you are embracing like all aspects
Yeah.
of this program that's been our life's work for the past decade. And
Yeah. Dan and I have gotten so much out of the course so far. I it's mind blowing. Like I'm still learning things about him, he's still learning things about me. We're
oh,
still learning things about ourselves, and the course is facilitating that. It's opening our awareness in ways that we didn't expect at all.
oh, I'm so excited to hear that now and looking forward to how it will continue
Yeah, me too.
to unfold for because we're only halfway there. So we've got
I know. I
three
know. We're only halfway
more
there.
weekends together. Any other insights or ahas or even just info that you want to share with our community before we wrap for today?
Um, I don't think so. I think that's a good place to leave it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it feels really rich and complete to me. I just wanted to double check with you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Susan, not just for your, you know, bravery and vulnerability and transparency here, but that same bravery, vulnerability, and transparency in your own work of the last 6 weeks, in really immersing yourself in this stage so that you could share this richness with us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Until the next time we meet, darling.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.